Hello everybody, this is Jacob Toronto here from ChasingCinema.com. Thank you for tuning into our video today. We're going to be talking about Daredevil Episode 5, World on Fire. This episode was directed by Farron Blackburn, and a really interesting episode. I mean, I've reviewed all 4 episodes up until this point, and I know I'm one of the later ones do it because I started the show so late because of CinemaCon. Well, no excuse, but I have fallen in love with this show. This show has really amazed me in ways that I did not expect. I thought I was going to watch it after hearing all the hype, but not reading too much into it. Like, I heard it was great, but I didn't really get to read any reviews or see what people were saying about the show. I was so surprised how open and gritty it was. I'm surprised how exciting it feels from Marvel, how different it feels from Marvel, a much darker look at comics, which I think is something that kind of does lack. Even with Batman and Superman and all that stuff, there's a much darker world in the world of comic books that we've not explored yet, and I think it's a great way to start exploring. Well, let's talk about this episode. So, this episode is quite interesting for many reasons. There's one character that I really began to fall in love with, just how the way that they're portraying him, the way that they are giving him a different style, but I'll get into that. First thing I want to talk about is the fact that we are now getting this love interest between Claire and Matt. We know Karen Page is a major love interest to Matt Murdock in the Daredevil comics. But we have this introduction of Claire Temple, who is played by Rosario Dawson, and they've been coming really close. He saved her life in the previous episode. Now she's staying at his house, and she's starting to ask him, and he's explaining it to her more. She obviously knows what he does. She knows who he is. She's seen him without the mask, so he's become really intimate with her. She already knows pretty much everything there is to know about Matt Murdock. And he explains to her a few of his abilities and how they work, and how, you know, his other senses are enhanced, and how using his other senses he's kind of able to create a picture. And she asks, what does everything look like? And he says, like the world's on fire, hence the title of the episode. Then they eventually kiss, and though it's exciting because we've kind of felt that tension since the actual, I'd say, argue the 3rd episode, when we're first introduced, that there's some sort of connection, that we eventually believe we're going to go down that road. In the episode prior, we believe that they're just getting closer and closer, which is a little bit great because misleading us, we are believing that he's going to eventually get with Karen Page, but we're led down this kind of road now, while Foggy and Karen Page are developing this odd relationship that at times, like, this episode kind of confused me because I felt like they were developing this relationship. What the show's showing me is that Karen does like Matt, and I think she's interested in Matt, but there's also this comfort in Foggy that she's finding, and they have a really interesting scene when, you know, they're exploring each other's face, trying to explore what blind people see them as by touching their face. So the episode gets really interesting when Weasley, Wilson Fisk's side character, or assistant as he calls him, and friend, actually delivers one of the Russians, the dead Russian, to his brother, and as he's examining this headless corpse from the last episode, which I still can't believe they did, which is so awesome. He discovered the Russian brother discovers a black mask in his brother's suit, making us believe that Weasley is pinning this murder on Matt Murdock, who's obviously been running around. The Russians are aware of him. And, you know, he's like, bring me his head. And we are like, all right, Matt's in trouble. You know, there's going to be a lot of guys looking for him. So the episode seems interesting. We're already kind of building the odds against Matt. But there's something that really, really captures my attention much more in this episode. And someone that captures, I think, my interest a lot more than kind of Matt Murdock right now, and that's Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, which he's known as. A great little joke in this episode is Vanessa, the girl that he's dating from the art gallery, says she dated a guy in this white suit, and oh my god, I forgot the name of it. I don't know, but it's a certain kind of necktie. I can't think of the name right now. I want to say it's apricot, but obviously I know that's not it. But maybe something like that. Obviously, I believe it's kind of a kickback to what Kingpin used to look like in the comics, and something that he's kind of always known wearing that big white jacket, and in this movie he wears a lot of black. And the reason why he interests me, well, now this couple interests me. So throughout this episode, him and Vanessa kind of share some interest. He's really open with Vanessa. He tells her kind of what he's doing, and she's oddly attracted to it, and they just look like a very, very scary, evil couple. But the one thing I love is, we have this idea that Kingpin's intimidating, he's mean, he's ferocious, and even though we've seen this side, obviously, when he smashes a guy's head literally off with a car door, we're learning his shyness, his unconfidence, his fear of being around strangers, and they paint him in such a different picture than what I was expecting. The Kingpin that I remember and kind of have seen in other adaptations is this violent, crazy man who doesn't doubt himself. But this movie, Vincent D'Onofrio just portrays him so well and so differently that I'm scared of him, because he himself doesn't seem to know his capabilities. And I think that's what makes his character so interesting. Granted, I really love Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock, but right now my concentration is on Wilson Fisk. I think he's so fascinatingly played. It's a really different look at this character, and we really get to explore the fact that this man is complex. He's more than just the ideal villain who wants to, just kill and be a murderer. There's a lot of complex issues with him. We can tell that he has some issues, and he's very reserved and reclused. And now we have this beautiful shot where these two are looking at these 4 buildings that have exploded, because that is Fisk's way of killing off the Russians. Because the Russians found out Fisk was the one that killed his brother, so they were all getting ready to go attack Fisk. Fisk blew them all up and literally pretty much killed all the Russians. And so now we realize this is going to be a power couple. She's going to bring the confidence to him. She's going to bring the, she's the very confident, say anything, I'm not afraid, fearless kind of girl that is going to, I think, really propel his character. I think that my favorite thing about this whole episode, besides learning more about Fisk, is that we have this amazing shot that I keep thinking about. So in this scene, we have these 2 Russians who go into a building and leave a blind, Mrs. Chow's blind, I don't know what you'd call him, but basically the package boy, and he's blind, he's kind of whistling, and we're in this taxi, we're taking the backseat point of view, and we're basically circling in the car, going all the way around, not seeing Daredevil. We're expecting to see Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and then boom, we see him. We we do pan this way, back around to see around the car again, not seeing anything. And it's just eventually how they kind of bring him in as a ghost. We go all the way around again, and we see the 2 Russians come out, and then boom, Matt Murdock comes out of nowhere and lays them out. And I think that, to me, was just such a cool thing. I know it's not as cool as the way I'm saying it, but if you watch the scene, it's a very well shot scene, very exciting scene. Something a little bit different, but again, I just love this show. I'm excited to get to the ending, but then again, I'm not, because I'm enjoying the show so much. Make sure to check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know I talked a little bit longer than usual here. Make sure to go check out our YouTube page, where I've talked about Hugh Jackman saying that the upcoming Wolverine sequel will be his last, as well as my review for the new movie Hot Pursuit. But let me know what you think about World on Fire Episode 5 from Daredevil down here in the comment section. Remember to follow me at Chasing Cinema and my personal social media stuff down here in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff down here in the description box. Make sure to show your support by liking and favoriting this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, but make sure, of all things, please make sure to subscribe, because each day, 5 times a day, I'm uploading videos talking about what's going on in the world of motion pictures, sometimes TV, very rarely, but still, casting details, trailer reviews, movie reviews, podcasts, interviews, giveaways, all that stuff's available on our YouTube channel. like I said, I've done the review for Hot Pursuit today. I've talked about Hugh Jackman in retirement. You know, we've talked about Harley Quinn this week, Tom Hardy, the Vacation Red Band trailer. There's so much stuff. You won't get bored, I promise. And you can always find all of this stuff as well at ChasingCinema.com. Go to ChasingCinema.com, hit the news button. You'll be able to find all of it there as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jacob Toronto, and please continue chasing cinema.